Next on Worcester News Tonight, new beds at UMass Memorial are set to help those with medical and psychiatric needs. Plus, the Trump administration limits the number of refugees allowed in the country, but Massachusetts will still welcome them. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Anna Botari. UMass Memorial Medical Center answers the call for more medical and surgical beds. The center renovated the 8th floor of the hospital, also known as 8 East, adding more than a dozen beds. Our Cam Jandro got a tour of the new facility today and joins us now with the details. Cam?
Anna, the decision to downsize the number of psychiatric beds a few years ago was a controversial decision, but UMass Memorial says it allows them to operate more efficiently and it's better for patient needs. UMass Memorial Medical Center increases their medical and surgical capacity with the addition of 14 beds on the 8th floor.
This is a unit for stabilization of patients with acute psychiatric disorders.
Hospital staff and administration toured the unit Wednesday. The new 8 East will allow UMass Memorial to take care of more patients who are living with medical as well as psychiatric needs.
So a patient with uncontrolled diabetes, with uncontrolled hypertension, a patient following a very serious suicide attempt or very serious trauma. A unit outside of 8 East, for example, would be unable to care for them.
In 2017, UMass Memorial announced plans to close 13 psychiatric beds to make room for their medical and surgical needs. Nurse manager Kathleen Kender says the unit is full almost every day, with an occupancy rate near 85%.
I ended up covering the desk yesterday. Someone was out ill, and I couldn't believe how many calls we get. I would say I got 40 calls yesterday just till 12 noon.
All of the rooms have been constructed to ensure patient safety. Everything from doorknobs to windows and even the televisions.
Is it something that they can harm themselves with? Is it something that they can tie something around to actually what we call ligature risk?
Special areas like sensory rooms will help create a safe environment for patients. The hospital says the goal of the unit is to treat all types of psychiatric disorders, including addiction.
We're able to provide additional medical care using the specialties from the hospital and using additional diagnostic resources in the hospital.
Now, the project took 2.5 years to complete on the 8th floor as well. UMass Memorial renovated their cancer center. In Worcester, I'm Cam Jandro, Worcester News Tonight.
The Massachusetts Department of Public Health announces laboratory tests confirm a horse in Spencer has Eastern equine encephalitis virus. It's the 8th horse to test positive for EEE this year. The town of Spencer was already in a high-risk area. There have been 12 human cases and 9 confirmed cases in animals across Massachusetts. The state asks people to protect themselves from mosquito bites. The risk from EEE will continue until the first hard frost. Hanover Theater is getting a new look, which will expand their venue outdoors. The theater announcing what the renovation to the front of the building and terrace will include. Along with a more pedestrian-friendly area, there will be a Bank of America stage, allowing for daily performances, a courtyard, and water fountains. Wednesday, Bank of America presented $250,000 to the theater for the project.
It is with the visionary leadership from Bank of America and the others that have been so pivotal in our ability to do this, that we are able to make it vibrant. We will populate this space. Our memorandum of agreement with the city will be such that the city will construct the space and we at the theater will take responsibility for making it a vibrant space, for bringing artists out there for different kinds of performances.
The project is expected to be completed in the spring of 2021. Wednesday, the LGBTQ community gathered to celebrate the city's perfect score on the Human Rights Index. This is the 5th year in a row Worcester has scored 100%. The assessment is based largely on legal and employment protections. Worcester Historical Museum's David Connor says the city deserves credit for scoring so well, but the LGBTQ community believes there's more to be done to make Worcester a more welcoming city. Suggestions include creating a cultural center and having an all-LGBTQ neighborhood in the city.
When I give tours of the exhibit to people in groups, we stop at the end of the exhibit and we take a look at this. And a lot of the times, the reaction of the audience is really. So I think there's a big surprise for community members. I'm not sure. I think we want to know who got surveyed and you know how this came about. And tonight's going to look at that. Actually, I think a lot of people will be asking those questions.
The LGBTQ Worcester for the Record will be on display at the Worcester Historical Museum through October 12th. A new executive order from the Trump administration caps the number of refugees nationwide. But in Massachusetts, Governor Charlie Baker says the state will continue to welcome refugees. Local immigration experts say the number of allowed refugees is too low and will impact the community. Our Chandler Walsh has more.
An executive order will make it more difficult for refugees to come into the country.
This creates havoc here in Worcester, in Massachusetts, and nationwide.
Last week, the Trump administration announced it will only allow 18,000 refugees the next fiscal year. It's a dramatic decline from 110,000 years ago. Immigration lawyer Randy Feldman says organizations who rely on federal funding to provide immigration services will see budget cuts, and many people seeking refuge will have nowhere to go.
If they get lucky, they'll have other countries who will take them, or they will be out of luck and they will remain in different areas of the world, living under terrible, horrible conditions.
States must offer written consent to accept refugees under the new policy. The Baker administration will continue to welcome them in Massachusetts, saying in a statement, the administration remains committed to supporting the most vulnerable residents and creating opportunities for all to thrive. Catholic Charities of Worcester County offers citizenship classes and assists with family-based immigration applications. Casca Yao says they've had to close their resettlement agency because the number of allowed refugees is too low.
Due to the reduction, refugees that were resettled by us and even by other agencies are now being affected because they will not be able to petition for their family in those refugee camps.
Yao came to the country as a refugee from Liberia and says immigrants like him are a big part of the community.
They contribute a lot to the economy of this country. They work hard. They purchase homes, they pay taxes to the government.
Feldman says the new cap means America won't be taking its fair share of the world's refugee problem.
Really isn't increasing our humanity very much if we can't get ourselves to give more than that.
At Catholic Charities, Casca Yao says he hopes the Trump administration reconsiders this order and turns around the decline in refugee admissions in the coming years. In Worcester, Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
You may ask, why would a man mow his lawn wearing a tutu? Well, the answer is his daughter. Abby Wright was born at just 25 weeks, weighing 1 pound 5 ounces. Since the day they left UMass Memorial Medical Center's neonatal intensive care unit, her father Dan swore he and his wife would give back to make sure other families can have the outcome they've had. Abby's now 9 years old and wanted to help with the family's annual golf tournament, which donates 100% of the proceeds to UMass's NICU. So they made a deal. If she raised $1,000, Wright would mow the lawn wearing a pink tutu, which he had no problem doing for the special cause.
And it's just been important for us to give back because they gave us her. So, we can't give back enough. So.
For Abby, raising the money was a no-brainer.
The NICU is important to me because they saved my life when I was born.
The Wrights have been holding their golf tournament for the past 5 years and have raised almost $200,000. It goes towards equipment and training for staff in the NICU. Abby says she plans on raising the money again next year, but may up the bet. She wants Dad to wear the tutu to work. A local student is being recognized by the state for his effort to fix a stretch of road in East Brookfield. The 13-year-old's dad died earlier this year in a crash on Route 49. Our Aaron Keating has his story.
So this guy right here saw a need for something and took it upon himself to start a petition after a tragic accident.
Representative Donald Berthium surprises Michael LaValley with a citation from the House of Representatives. The 13-year-old's petition for more safety barriers on Route 49 caught his attention, so the lawmaker talked to his colleagues in the House and the Massachusetts Department of Transportation.
Seeing him do this for his dad, you know, it's courageous and brave. Good for him.
Michael's father, LaValley, was killed in a head-on crash in East Brookfield in July. The teen says he's received more attention than he could have imagined.
Feels good.
Thanks to his petition, Mass DOT is developing a revised pavement marking plan. It will create a painted median to better separate the northbound and southbound lanes of Route 49.
Many of us have traveled that road frequently, and we know how dangerous it is. You know, Michael took it upon himself to make a change, and it's something that's going to benefit all of us in the long run.
Employees at the Knox Trail Middle School, including Principal Ralph Bortheth, says LaValley's actions make the entire school proud.
He's done something that not a lot of adults have ever done in a lifetime.
I love seeing kids go for something that they believe in.
Representative Berthume grew up with Michael's father. He says the teen's actions can inspire other young people to work for change.
It's a lot of work, it's a lot of effort, but you can do it. Mikey did it, anybody can do it.
Mass DOT says the new pavement marking plans will be completed later this year. The revisions will begin next construction season. In Worcester, Erin Keating, Worcester News Tonight.